So how do I use my vehicles? What lights do I like? Let's get into that right now. Well, the first thing is I like a nice even light. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in the center of the beam where I'm looking, I obviously want a good percentage of the light to be in that area. So let's call that the hot spot. Well, the hot spot area, I want it to be a fairly decent size and cover the majority of where my eyes are looking when I'm on the road. But from the hot spot out to the edges of the light, I want a very gentle graduation of the light intensity so that I don't feel like I'm looking at a hot spot here and a hot spot there and then no light next to it. I really don't like driving under those conditions. Now, these lights here have been provided by a company called Ultravision. They're an Australian manufacturer of spotlights and they make a premium product. And they have provided these spotlights to me so that I can do this content on them, give them some real world feedback on how these lights operate and my opinions on that. So big thanks to Ultravision for supporting me as I support them, an Australian manufacturer. The next thing that I look for is the peripheral view. What can I see out to the side of me? Well, the reason I like to have that view is when you're driving here in Australia, we have a lot of wildlife that can come up out of the sides of the road just before your vehicle gets to that section of road. The number of times that having peripheral view, peripheral lighting has allowed me to see a wombat, a kangaroo, or some other animal in the detail of the side of the road, I couldn't tell you. It's been so many times. Now, the reason these lights work so well in that way is in the center here, they have a lens which is effectively like a light bar. And its sole job is to put light out to the sides of the vehicle. And it does a really good job at that, but it transitions into the main light without any lines or hot spots in that intermediary area. The next thing I look for and like from a light is a light that gives me a really good intensity up to about 1 kilometre. After that, I feel like the light is kind of wasted. In some ways, it almost has a negative effect. And the negative is that when I have an oncoming vehicle coming towards me, I have to dip my lights from high beam down to low beam a lot sooner than I would like. So it means that I'm driving in darkness for quite a period of time. Now, these spotlights here will range out beyond 2 kilometres. So it's like, wow, that can be and I'd almost say that these lights at 2K or beyond is almost too much light. But these lights do have a feature which helps solve the problem. You see, these spotlights have a high-low feature. What that means is that I can push a button and these spotlights will dip to a low beam setting, which is effectively the center light bar stays on, giving me a nice, let's say 100 or so meters of good illumination on top of the vehicle's high beam. So that means I can stay on a decent amount of illumination until the vehicle that's coming towards me is a lot closer. Then I can dip down to low beam. So that's how these lights, although they have that massive distance, address the issue of driving in the darkness of low beam until the vehicle gets closer to you. When you're driving through country which is up and down hills, when you're going down the hill, to the best of the light's ability, you want to be able to see down, oh, sorry, that bug was biting. To the best of your ability, you want to be able to see down below you as much as possible. So you want the light to travel down the hill. And then you also, more importantly, want the light to travel up the hill on the other side so you can plan where you're going to drive. And these lights have an excellent feature or height in the light beam. So I do like that feature.